Hi, Facebook. It's Lexi here. You're watching Live with Lexi. How are you? Happy Tuesday. It's really beautiful here today in Canada. Well, my part of Canada. Oh, I don't know. It's probably about zero. It's just awesome. Hopefully, all the snow melts now and we get closer to spring. But I don't know. We still got to get through March, and March can come in like a lion and go out like a lamb. You just never know what could happen in March. So, what does it take to be a good leader? Okay, so yesterday I had a 2 hour conversation with a colleague that I did masterminds with a couple years ago when I first started getting into this online gig, I call it, in a loving way. And we both talked so much, and the 2 hours felt like 10 minutes. We were only going to have, maybe a short visit, but we hadn't spoken for months. And let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay. Oh, there's nobody. I don't see anybody here at the moment, but that's okay. Yeah, if you're jumping on, let me know if you can hear me okay. Hopefully my little microphone here is working. What does it take to be a good leader? So yeah, my colleague and I were talking yesterday for about 2 hours and it felt like 10 minutes. It was unreal. We have grown so much in 2 years. He's run with other people, I've run with other people, and so we actually don't work together. We did at the very beginning, and then we just seem to go our separate ways, and that's how business is. You come together, you go your other way, another way. You find directions that work for you that you resonate with. So even still, we can still share great ideas about business and talk about our goals and the successes we've had. And it was just such a good conversation. I really, really enjoyed it. Some of the things that I've learned to be a good leader. Where I started was from three little words: learn, do, teach. So you learn something, you do it, and then you teach it. So it was hard for me to do these go lives. It takes a lot of courage for me to do these go lives. Even still, I've done quite a few of them, but even still, I kind of get a knot in my stomach and I can overthink it. Hey, Michael, thanks for hopping on. How are you? Hey, let me know if you want to jump in today, and I'll invite you in and we can talk about how to become a good leader. So always be proactive. Don't sit on your hands. I could have not done these go lives and dug into my comfort zone, but you got to get out of your comfort zone. If it scares you, do it. One of the biggest things on Facebook right now is go lives. And so I just committed, I made the decision, and I committed to just doing it. So right now I'm on day 6 of my 90-day challenge. And here we go. And I'm going to keep going. It's, all in the morning. At night I start thinking about my topic, but it's mostly in the morning I start thinking about my topic, and then maybe do a little research. But mostly I pull it out of the books I have. I do a lot of self-development. I listen to audios. I read books. I've read so many books. I just finished Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and now I just started Unshakable by Tony Robbins. It's just mind-blowing how, when I look back to how far I've come, pardon me. When I look back to how far I've come, I've got a lot of wins behind me. Some days I get frustrated and upset with myself. I haven't done enough, or I haven't done the right things. But when I reflect back, it makes me really happy because I have gone through a lot of hurdles. I have gone through a lot of hurdles. I've had my own share. There's a hair in my eye and I can't find it. There it is. I have definitely gone through my own share of failures, but the more we break stuff, the more failures we have, the faster we'll get to success. I know that because we don't learn from our successes, We learn from our failures. That's where we learn. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Thanks for hopping on, Greg. So don't sit on your hands. Make a decision. Get up and do things. You can learn and learn and learn and learn and learn, but unless you take action on what you've learned, it's not getting out there. You need to get it out there and share it with people, and not keep it to yourself. When we have these gifts, when we know this stuff, we are, what's the right word? We are supposed to, for lack of a better word, I'm not thinking of the right word, give this out. We're not supposed to hold it in and keep it inside of us. We're supposed to give it out, and I want to give it out. What's the point of having all the information and all the knowledge if you don't teach other people? You know, and that's one of the legacies that you can leave, right? Is, well, all these people learned from you. Isn't that awesome? And not only that, it's our God-given right to learn this stuff, to be successful, and to share it out. There's enough for everybody. It's not a competition. There's no point in holding it in. I'm a big believer in this. You have to have your own experiences to teach other people. If you try to teach other people what you haven't done, they're not going to respect you, and they're going to turn away and run with somebody else. I've come through a lot. I've had a lot of experiences. When I tell someone to read The Magic, I've read it twice, done it twice, all the 28 chapters, and done all the exercises. So when I if somebody asks me what's a good book, I tell them that. And that's because I've gone through it, I know what it's about, and it changed me and it changed my life. There's no point in me, if I said to someone, okay, read such and such book, the first thing I'm going to say is, well, it's up to you if you want to read it. I haven't read it yet. I've never even heard of it. So I'm not going to promote it. I'm not going to encourage you to read it, do whatever. But if I found value and got tons of training and like just tons of knowledge and changed me inside, changed my heart, changed my emotional level, just made such an impact in my world, absolutely I'm going to tell people and share it with them, because I want to see them have the same shift that I did. I want to see them have the same experience that I did, and it's just all positive, right? By the way, for me as a leader, I'm striving to be a leader. Let me get this very clear. I still have a little bit of self-doubt, which I'm trying to remove, which I am going to remove. I'm moving forward. I'm always in motion, and I am going to get rid of the doubt, and I have built my self-confidence and self-esteem. And, I'm pretty proud of myself from the journey that I've come on so far. And I'm just excited to share this with other people and lift. Oh, my microphone's right here. Sorry. This is my little microphone. I just hit it with my hand because I talk with my hands. So I want to lift other people up and encourage them to live a positive life and be a strong leader. Okay. I've definitely come a long ways from 2 years ago, but there's a long ways I still want to go. My journey isn't complete yet. In fact, I'm going to be learning and growing the rest of my life. That's what I believe is a huge part of life. And sooner or later, that develops us into a leader, because we've got so much in our minds and in our emotions and in our hearts, so much growth, that we can tell someone that hasn't been through it. We can tell, well, this is how my experience was. This is the value that I got from it. Hey, Sabira. Hey, Ernesto. Great topic. Thanks, Sabira. I appreciate you. Some other things to striving to be a good leader is, like I just said, commit to lifelong growth. Don't ever stop. Just because you read the one book, I just finished reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I'm not going to stop reading now. I got so much value out of that. That just inspired me to move on to the next book. My goodness, my house is just over 1,200 square feet, but if I could have a whole library this size or double this size, I would. I'd be one of those people that have this great big library with all these ladders, and they have to have a incredibly insane Dewey Decimal System and filing system to find anything. But then, so then I'd have to have a whole separate house to live in, or I'll have it all under one big roof. I don't know. But I have to keep my physical books down to a minimum because I've only got so much space in this house. We'll see what happens in my next house, though. But I also listen to audio, so I get double the effect. Okay, when I'm around the house doing stuff, I'll throw my audio on my phone, turn it right up, and of course I don't watch TV much, so I'm listening to my audio. So I listen to Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and I also am reading the book. I'm just about finished reading the book, but I am done the audio. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I learned so much. Wish I would have seen this book 30 years ago. Somebody probably told me about it, but I probably just wasn't interested and didn't care at the time. When your eyes get open, your eyes get open. There's no going back. But it's the point at which your eyes start to open. That's the changing moment in your life. That is the defining moment, and that is what carries you through to be a good leader. Let's see if I've missed anything here. Oh yes, being uncomfortable. Okay, again, back to these go lives. Every time I jump on this go live, just before I hit that button, my stomach is turning. My stomach is doing some flip-flops. And part of me wants to back out. Not all of me, just part of me wants to back out and say, nope, not doing this right now. I'll do it later. Well, you know what? Later never comes. We get really good at procrastinating. Really good. I have probably been the world's biggest procrastinator because I want to stay in my comfortable zone. Well, one of the many things I've learned since I got into this online gig is online marketing is what I really mean. Is procrastination just makes things worse. It just makes things worse. I don't care if you do it wrong when you're doing it. Whatever it is you're doing, I don't care if you're doing it wrong. You need to take action and you need to just do it. Leaders didn't get to be leaders by sitting around talking about what they're going to do. They've had some chat, some mastermind, a coffee discussion, and talk about the plan. Yes, but at some point you have to initiate that plan and do it with action, with work, with deliberation, with purpose. You have to do it. You can't just sit on your ass all day and day after day after day after day, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. And it never gets done. You absolutely have to take action. Like I said, I don't care if you break something. So what? Breaking something, failing at something is far better than inaction. I'm going to say that again. Breaking something or failing at something is far better than inaction. I hope you can really wrap your head around that. I've lived it. I'm not making this shit up. I am not making this up. I have lived it. I have got off go lives and go, oh man, that's not what I meant to say. Or I wish I would have said that. Why didn't I think about that? Excuse me. And I'm finally at the point where, you know what? I did it. There's hundreds of thousands of people out there that wouldn't do it today, that won't ever do it. I did it. So I'm going to consider that a win and a little milestone. I walked through it. I got myself out of my comfort zone into the uncomfortableness and did it. Took action. Pretty darn proud of myself, if I do say so. And I want to encourage people to do the same. I really do. When you get to that point where you walk through your comfort zone and you walked into your uncomfortableness and you did it, what a feeling of empowerment. You just feel completely empowered. It inspires you to get in and do another one. Trust me. I promise you, when you walk through your uncomfortableness and take action, it will empower you. It will change you. You will never be the same. And speaking of these Go Lives, by the way, I was told when I did my very first one, just before I did it, I was told, if you can do one, you can do 1,000. Exercise your body, as well as self-development for your mind. Exercise your body every day. Do repetition every single day. Do self-development mentally, read your books, listen to your audios, but do your physical exercise too. That's important. Inspire others, make decisions. Repetition, yes, repetition is so important. If you just do something once or read it once, you probably don't get the whole thing. You probably only get about, retain maybe 80% for a couple of days, and then it drops down to 60%. So it's always good to have something at the forefront of your mind, in your conscious mind, or in the forefront of your mind that day. So repetition is very important, no matter what you do. Think of when you learned how to tie your shoelaces, for heaven's sake. Very, very basic stuff. Did you stop and go, oh no, I don't really feel like doing that right now. Oh no, I don't really feel like learning that right now. You're 6 years old. It's a challenge. It's like, I'm going to do this till I get it right. And when you grow up, speaking of that, I just got another thought. Yes, okay, I'm just thinking this through. Do it till you get it right. However, the other saying goes, like say with these Go Lives or doing a webinar or leading your team, do it repeatedly till you don't get it wrong. So there's those two sayings. Do it till you don't get it wrong. Some good food for thought, right? I know when I first started learning how to ride a bike, here was my motivation. My parents said I could have a brand new bike if I learned how to ride this old bike. So guess what I got? My mom pulled out my grandpa's old bike in the garage. It was dirty. I was about, I don't know, 3.5 feet high. The bike looked like about 10 feet high. And I looked at it, like, okay, I already got a way how I can ride it. Okay, I already got it figured out how I'm going to do this. That was my first thought, because I was not going to give up. I wanted that new bike. I wanted my own bike. I didn't want a secondhand bike. I didn't want to ride my sister's bike. I wanted my very own bike, my brand new bike. So there I was, every day, all summer, out in the rain, out in the wind. Didn't matter. It just didn't matter. I'm out there. And I found the biggest hill in town. Biggest hill I could possibly find, and I loved it. And I went down that hill, I don't know how many times. Probably, I remember one time for sure that I came home with blood running all down from my knees all the way down. My mom was horrified. I said, Mom, but I made it home. It probably happened 2 or 3 times, but I only remember the one time with all that blood and her freaking out. I never once thought I was going to quit. Even when I'm laying on the pavement bleeding, I never once thought I was going to quit. I was laying there all by myself crying. I just got myself up, pushed the bike home. I didn't get back on it. I just walked it home and healed up. And I went back to that same hill and kept riding the bike. I got to ride that bike so fast down that hill with no hands, it wasn't even funny. It was exciting. I felt the wind in my hair. I could feel the strength. I mastered that bike. I probably grew a little bit that summer while I was learning how to ride that bike. Oh, by the way, it was a man's bike, a boy's bike with that bar between the seat and the handlebars. Yeah. When I first got on that bike, I had to stick my one leg in between the front and back wheel and that top bar. I couldn't even get my leg over the top bar to sit on the seat. I had to ride sideways, crouched in, if you can imagine, if I'm describing that right. Crouched in. My butt never got near the seat. My hands were on the handlebars, and I was pedaling from the side of the bike, if you can imagine. We do what we do. I mean, back in the day, we didn't have training wheels. We didn't have parents couldn't afford a little bike up to a bigger bike every year, every second year. That didn't happen. You got one bike. That's it. And you had to appreciate it, and you had to take care of it. Man, by the time I moved out of the house when I was 18, that bike still looked like it was bought the first day. I took such good care of that bike. It was my pride and joy. Only bike I ever had. And it was blue and white. It was my favorite. It's my only bike, so it was my favorite. It's my favorite anyway. My sister got one after I did, and hers was just trashed. She just dropped it on the ground all the time. She just trashed it. Anyway, my point is, if you want to strive to be a good leader, get out there, fail, break stuff, dust yourself off, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Don't let it stop you. Look at those failures as gifts. Look at those failures. I had one yesterday myself. I was just telling it to a colleague this morning. In fact, Sabira, she's on. I learned a big lesson. Now I learned what not to do at this particular time. It wasn't a failure. It was a step to get me to this video. It was a step to get me through the process, same process the next day, and how to do it better. So I want you to leave in the comments right now. Tell me if you're striving to be a good leader. And if you want to join on this Go Live, you sure can. I can invite you on, let me know. Just looking at the comments. Anybody have any questions or any comments? Go ahead and write them in the thread. That's all the value I have. That's all the value and wisdom I have for you today, and experience. I hope you got lots of value out of it. If so, please share this video out and like and comment. I'd really appreciate it. And today again is day 6 of my 90 days of Go Live challenge. And I'm just going to keep going. And if you're striving to be a leader, I hope you take in some of those points that I mentioned through my video. And if you're watching the replay, I hope that if you're striving to be a leader and you want to get better and better, do some of these points, do this stuff daily, get better and better with your growth, with yourself, get rid of those negative beliefs that aren't true and aren't serving you. I know those are a big thing for holding a lot of people back to becoming the best leaders that they can be. Creativity, I forgot to tell you, we're all born with creativity. Before I do these Go Lives, I have to stop and think about the topic and create something. I'm going to create my Go Live. I'm going to create my video for you. We are all born creative. So if you ever think you're not creative, think again. You are creative. Every single one of us is creative. Remember that. And that creativity and imagination will take you a long, long ways. That's it for now, guys. You're watching Live with Lexi. I'm going to go here. Getting a little warm in this room. Glasses are sweating off my nose. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Happy Tuesday. Have a good rest of your day. I will see you in tomorrow's video. All right. Bye for now.